give you some information that will help support your chapter and help your business. So that's our goal today, and you can let us know at the end whether or not we achieve that goal. Here is our agenda for the day. We, of course, will start as we often do because predictability is very important to some people like me. We will start with the vision and the core values, and then we have a great time of recognition. We have a lot of new names of individuals and chapters on the board today. We'll take a quick little poll, and we're going to talk about goals today. So then once we have our poll, we'll talk about goals, not just because they rhyme, but they do, and you can't say no to a good rhyme. And we will let you be in breakout rooms by topic like we did last month. We heard from a lot of you that that was a helpful thing, that if you want to talk about processing your new member applications, or if you want to talk about the visitor experience, you will have some chapter coaches you're able to speak with. And if you have more questions about goals, you can talk about that as well. So let's get started with our vision today. And I'm going to have Donna share our vision with us today.
Great. Understanding the connection between chapter success and business success, our members and regional support team enthusiastically and positively engage with one another to grow, learn, and serve in ways that matter.
Yes. And I think you just demonstrated that because you seem very enthusiastic and positive.
I am. A good day.
That is how you engage with your chapters. I know that to be true of you, Donna. And Donna's not the only one who does that. Look at all of these people who are also helping to positively and enthusiastically engage with you and your chapters so that everybody can grow and give and serve and learn in all of those ways that matter. So this is your superstar team. They are great at what they do. They're constantly learning. They are almost all of them also members. So if you are interested in expanding your network and growing in leadership, and you might like to be a part of this team, please reach out to me and let me know. We can have a conversation, because what we find is that chapter success coaches are often better members and their businesses do better because they just know more. And so we would love to have that conversation with you. But this is your team. If your chapter success coach is on here and you've had a great experience, let's hear it in the chat. Say, what a great coach I have, and then say who that person is, because I'm sure they're going to love to see the love in the chat. All right. Who would like to share a core value? Something that they have seen in action, one of these 7 core values, either in your chapter or your business. You can raise your virtual hand, or you can unmute yourself and tell us a great circumstance that has come about that has to do with the core value. No core values. Maybe they're not as core as we think they are. Yes, Dean.
I think one of the things that strikes me every week I meet with my group is the level of positivity. And I've yet to hear a negative word from anyone in a meeting. And that just lifts me for my whole week. And so that's part of the reason I look forward to my meeting each week, is just the level of positiveness in everyone. That's
so great. And there's a reason why that's a core value, because it never feels better when it's negative, right? We can do that for each other. We can lift each other up. That's great. Thank you for sharing that, Dean. Anybody else have one? We have time for one more. Yes, Vicki.
I'm going to have to say relationships. There are people in my group that I will be lifetime friends with, people who've left the group that I'm still friends with. And as I've been doing some of the national speed networking, I now have some friends nationally, and I feel like I can go to almost any city and call people up and say, hey, do you want to have coffee? So I think building relationships.
I love that. I have heard BNI people say before, no matter where I travel, I will always be able to find recommendations or a place to stay because we have friends everywhere. The network is real. That's great. Thanks for sharing that, Vicki. All right, let's start our call. Speaking of positivity and other core values like recognition, let's start with a little recognition. We've got some individuals that we want to recognize as well as some chapters. So let's start with Aaron Beckman and Heather O'Connell. I believe you're going to tell us a little bit about why Aaron is so awesome in his chapter.
Yes, I am. Aaron is awesome. he stepped into that role in October. And right away, as president, he was aware that the atmosphere had changed. They'd been doing hybrid and of course virtual all the time during COVID. And so what he did is he organized a BNI boot camp meeting. And it ran like any other meeting, used the same agenda. The only difference was he really took a moment to explain why we were doing the things we were doing, why we're talking about core values, why we're talking about the purpose and overview, and really how all of those hidden elements in the agenda are focused for visitors. And it really helped the people that had not been participating prior to COVID in an in-person meeting. And everybody came out of that meeting really understanding why the agenda was the agenda and the purpose of it.
I love that. What a great way to start a new term in leadership. And also a great reminder, I think, of why it's important that we've established a culture in our chapters where visitors are normal. Because if we are every week explaining why we do certain things and the leadership team is introducing themselves and there are no visitors, it seems kind of silly to reintroduce yourself to yourselves every single week. But if it's good to be reminded sometimes, but we do it every week because we want to have visitors each time. That's a great example. Way to go, Erin. I'm sure your chapter is going to thrive this year. How about this Ryan Burke fellow? Diane, tell us about this chapter.
So I would like to recognize Ryan Burke from Boulder Business Race today for networking above and beyond. Not only did he come in as a very strong secretary treasurer, he has also been living the core values of BNI, especially with accountability, both for himself and as the chapter. And I've been hearing amazing things from feedback from the members of the chapter of what a good example of a leader he has been.
That's amazing. I often think it's easy to overlook the core value of accountability because people kind of chafe under it, like, oh, that's a hard one. But somebody who can do it well and make everybody better because of it, that's amazing. So congratulations, Ryan. Keep up the good work. I wanted to give a few shout outs here because we had a nice little collection of some individuals. Look, 4 individuals from 4 different chapters who are all responsible for a pretty sizable amount of thank you for closed business. And so we've got BNI Colorado Northwest representing, we've got $200,000 one member, another $200,000, $300,000, almost $600,000 and thank you for closed business. This is the epitome of the core value of Givers Gain, because these 4 members in Western Colorado are solely responsible for $1.3 million to those 4 chapters. That is no small amount. And those chapters and those businesses are thriving because these members, Lindsay, Jonathan, Nicole, and Noah, they are listening and looking for very specific ways to drive business to their fellow members. And that's why we do what we do. So thank you so much. And congratulations to Lindsay, Jonathan, Nicole, and Noah. This is a very impressive feat, a nice list of numbers. This is what we're about. Also, some individuals who deserve a little shout out. Check out these people who they weren't only green in the Power of One, but check it out. These people have 100 perfect score on the Power of One. They're doing all the things that make chapters and their members successful. So congratulations to Alec, Ann, Cassandra, Chris, Kelly, Larry, Lynn, Mark, Misha, and Noah. And there are a couple of people here who are your chapter success coaches. So these people know how to make BNI work for them. So if you haven't yet, you might want to have a one-to-one with some of these people, and they can maybe give you some pointers on how to be 100 in the Power of One. Great job. So those are the individuals. What are you doing with all of those individual contributions, and how is it working for you in your chapters? Well, I will tell you, thanks for asking. Winning Edge and Action Partners, we're at 70. And we've got on this list today, we have 2 new chapters who weren't in the green last month, and they are in the green this month. So congratulations, Winning Edge and Action Partners, hitting the green. You are bringing visitors, you're passing referrals, doing the things that bring everybody money. Platinum Connections and Referral Powerhouse, also in the green, bringing in some money. And it's not a coincidence that traffic lights are green and money is green. See what we did there? They're the same because they represent each other. So great score of 79 for Platinum Connections and Referral Powerhouse, and also Southwest Business Builders. Western Colorado is representing this month. So nice job there. No surprises here though. Look at this. 6 Degree Connections, constantly bringing the excellence. So way to go, 6 Degree Connections, as well as the rest of these chapters for being green in the power of one. This means you are all creating a culture that's making the most of your memberships. So great job, everybody. You can all high five each other at your next meeting. If you're online, do it with the camera and give each other a shout out. Great job. I love to see that. All righty, since we're going to talk about goals, this last piece of recognition can kind of get us warmed up for that. I want to give a little bit of recognition to Aurora Elite. Some of our chapters you've seen, and maybe you're part of a chapter like this, they do a little ebb and flow, and sometimes a life event happens and chapters lose some members. Sometimes there's a big influx, but we wanted to recognize Aurora Elite for having gone from 7 members to 13 members. That is not a humongous chapter, but that is a humongous leap, and it means a difference in the bottom line and the revenue for the members in that chapter. So great job, Aurora Elite, sticking to the basics, doing what you know will work. You're growing your chapter, growing your networks, and their goal is to have 25 quality members by August 1st. So they've got a nice long runway for that. They're doing the things that have already almost doubled their chapter. So having this many members by August 1st is a great example of goals that your chapter can have that's going to make a difference for all of the members and the businesses represented. So way to go, Aurora Elite. If you know somebody in Aurora Elite, you might want to have a one-to-one to say, what is going on? How can we do that in our chapter too? All right, let's take a poll. Speaking of goals, I could write a poem, but I'm not going to. Let's just do a poll about goals. Let's see where your chapters are as it relates to goals. How does your chapter approach goals? Do you have them and they're communicated very clearly and everybody's right on top of it and everybody's moving in that direction? Maybe you've talked about it for your chapter, but you're not sure what they are. Maybe we talked about them in October and now it's been a while. Some of you, I hope a lot of you have goals for your business, but maybe you're not aware of what your chapter is doing, or you're curious, you've heard about it, but you're not at all sure what your chapter is doing. And maybe you're just not a believer. Here we are coming up onto the magical season of Christmas, and maybe you just don't believe in goals. You don't believe in Santa either. You want to let fate decide how successful you are. Maybe that's you. Let's see where people are. If you are really, really up on your goals in your chapter, then this should be a great one for you to contribute to in the breakout rooms. All right, looks like 85% of people have responded. And to not know what your chapter is doing is perfectly fine. That's why we're here, so everybody can know more. All right, let's see what everybody is doing in their chapters. This is very encouraging that members are talking about the goals and that you as leaders are aware of what your chapters are doing. I'm very encouraged by that. And that's what it should be. And that's what we want to move toward. And if you talked about them, they're not quite clear. That's okay. We can maybe move you in the right direction. And if you're in those next two, then this also should give you some nice handles to start somewhere and then you can move forward. So let's talk about what goals can do for your chapter and what they can do for your business mostly. This is a quote that we're going to kick off our discussion with goals. Because this is a great quote that talks about setting goals, but also the mechanisms that help us achieve our goals. And so to walk us through a little bit more on that topic so you can do that in your chapters, I'm going to have Tony Stranick and Diane tell us a little bit more about what we can do with our chapter goals. Tony and Diane.
Hey, thanks. Can you hear me okay?
Perfect.
Okay, good. So goals. All right. So I feel like we should look at goals from 3 different directions. First, of course, setting the goal. That obviously comes first, but also creating a system to achieve those goals. And then thirdly, how are we supporting each other and creating accountability for our part in achieving those goals? So yes, the slide, if you don't have systems in place to support your goals, will you get there? When I talk to chapters about goals, I always ask, where have you set your bar? If your bar is low, that's where people will be. If you raise your bar through goals and systems, as well as instituting an accountability piece, people will rise to where that bar is set. We see it time and time again. Give somebody a task and a job and they generally do it, right? Especially people in B&I. We get the value of how to, invest in our business future and set those goals. That's typically the type of person that is an investor in B&I. So what are our success drivers? What are the things that drive success in B&I? Power of one, traffic light reports, to name a couple of obvious ones. Could your goals be set around those? I don't know. Diane is going to talk about a few other things and the why behind our goal setting.
Thank you, Tony. And next slide, please. So here's some checklist. As we're improving our customer service, increasing your brand awareness, find your markets for your products and services. If you remember some information from your member success program, a lot of these particular checklists for business goals are right there in what you are doing for your least common denominators, generating new sources. So when you're looking at setting your business goals, why are we not aligning them with our chapter goals as well? So we want this to be all in one area, because if you align your B&I goals with your business goals, you're going to achieve so much more success. The benefits of this is when we look at a chapter's goal, it's because goals are steps to taking towards who we can be. What gets measured gets done. Goals are also made up of habits. And what are we going to look at to reflect on that and determine our identity? Example, if I'm a reader, then I'm better at getting oh my gosh, sorry, getting choked up here today. Then I'm better to get at reading. And to do more reading, I surround myself with others who read, such as book clubs. And we know that some of our chapters have created some of those. We set fitness goals, business goals, reading goals, kind of like resolutions. And that's one of the reasons that in B&I, while we talk about goals this time of year, is it's about that time that everybody's going to start on those resets. So I'd like you to put in the chat an example of a goal you have for your life in any area. Some examples of those are, if you'd like to read 12 books in a year, why? How are you going to take and accomplish that? What kind of mechanisms? If I read for 15 minutes, 3 days a week while I eat lunch, that's going to take and help me get to my goals. When we talk about goals for chapters, we talk about specific markers in those goals, like increasing your thank you for closed business. One of those examples that we have for some of our chapters is they like to take a larger number, say $10,000, and they say, what would it look like for you to bring that into your business or to you personally in a year? When we complete 100% of our passports, what are we doing with that goals? We're getting that jump start and we're creating some of those business things. And doubling our CEUs. A lot of times when we really enhance goals and we have something that we're having those mechanisms and they're being reported on a weekly basis, it's that friendly reminder for everyone. So just remember, when things get measured, things get done. And now Tony's going to tell you why this all matters to you.
Thanks, Diane. Yes, why does it matter? Because intentional goals, along with systems and accountability, is how you take your chapter where you want to take it. Not all chapters are doing all the things that lead to success. We also can't change things all at once. Trying harder is great, but how do you know you're on track to achieve the results you want. Having goals gives us time-specific markers to measure progress and celebrate successes. So that is the why behind goals in today's lesson. So Jenny, I think we're going to break out now. Is that right?
I just
Yeah.
talking to myself. I do that a lot. I do that a lot. Let's just skim through these really quickly. These are some of the examples of what Tony and Diane were talking about. So when you start to talk about the goals in either in your breakout rooms or with your other leaders in your chapter, this is in BNI Connect, and your chapter success coach would love to talk to you about putting some of these into place for your chapter. This is an example I wanted to show you because the mission statement for this is such a clear goal. 40 green by March 17, this chapter in Florida. And so if you can have some very specific goals that are overarching like this, then you can start breaking down the different success drivers, like your attendance, your total number of members, your thank you for closed business, how many visitors you want to have. But by understanding where you're going, then you'll know the stepping stones to get there, and everybody will rise to a higher level. So if you would like to talk about this, that is one of the possibilities. I forgot to set up the breakout rooms, didn't I? Oh, here we go. But what I'd like to do first is, so let's start with a little explanation of what we're going to talk about in each of these rooms. So let's have the visitor experience person talk about that. That is going to be Brittany Sarconi. So Brittany, what are you hoping to talk about in the visitor experience breakout room?
Yeah, in visitor experience, we're going to talk about how everybody in the chapter is a visitor host and how the visitor experience is everything from start to finish, from how you engage with somebody to invite them to follow-ups to when they join your chapter.
Love it. So if your chapter would like to have some goals around visitors, then you will want to go into the visitor experience breakout room. What about processing new applications? Colby, you are going to be working in that area. So what kind of things are you going to answer or talk about?
Yeah, we're going to talk about best practices towards approving, receiving applications, conversion of visitors to applications, and then timelines on how to do that, and then how to divide the wealth on a membership team.
Perfect, because they're all just a couple months in, so we might need some reminders. And what about the new member experience?
I'm in that room with Heather O'Connell. We're going to be talking about First Year Member Essentials, the Passport Program, and the Mentor Coordinator.
Yes, such an important role, so important. And setting goals, we are going to have Tony and Heather McChesney. What kind of things are you going to talk about in there?
We're going to talk about why you would want to set goals, what those could look like, and how to put markers in place to know that you're on track to achieve those goals.
Yeah, that's it. You'll know how to navigate BNI Connect and stay consistent on those. That's going to be good. If you have a chapter that's online or hybrid and you want a little bit more hand-holding or demonstration, or you have questions about BNI Online 2.0, then you stay right here with me and I can walk you through some of that and answer some questions that you may have. We have a lot of questions that come to us about BNI Connect or BNI Business Builder. And Alan, what kinds of things are you hoping to cover? Is he already in that breakout room? Just waiting for
There we
us?
go. Okay. No,
Oh, there he is.
I was muted. Anyway, BNI has some amazing tools, and they very often get overlooked. And really what it is the opportunity to streamline our BNI experience and to bring those things closer, not only to us, but also to our members, and help us to achieve those goals.
Yeah, there's so much. And if anybody knows them, it's you. And then contact spheres. Joe, what's going to be covered in there?
Sure. We're going to talk about the importance of using your contact spheres, but also setting up your power teams so that you become a powerhouse of referrals.
Love it. So all of these breakout rooms are going to be a different way for you to make money. That's our goal. So why don't you go do this? We are going to set these up for 15 minutes. You can have a little chat with the people who are going to make a difference for you. And you should be able to select your own breakout room. And if you're not, you can just unmute and we will put you where you need to go. Oops. All right, everybody joining us again. I think the family's back together. We're coming little by little back together again. Megan's got her little munchkin. I see her. Hi, the youngest member of the chapter success coach team. Oh, I love it. I love it. All right, who would like to unmute and tell us a little bit about something they learned or maybe a new question that came up as you were having your discussion? Anybody? Anybody? Yes, Michael.
Right. So we were talking about contact spheres, actually a great, productive, useful, exciting discussion. One of the things we talked about was to explain the benefits of contact spheres and power teams to the membership at large to make them more engaged in that process. Another thing was to help build smaller contact spheres into larger ones and having the members of those smaller teams teach us how to invite for their sphere. Another one was to have like a sort of mini visitors day per contact sphere per month. So tacking on 30 minutes after the meeting, and one of the spheres gets the first week of the month, another one gets the second week of the month, and so on through that. And then this brilliant idea was prospecting for new businesses at chambers and even have the BNI chapter be a member of the chamber itself, and then go wearing BNI name tags rather than go as your own business and prospect for BNI.
I love all of those. That does sound like it was productive and exciting.
Nice.
Yeah. What was one thing that you would share, Michael, the reason why a large contact sphere is better than a small one?
Education, actually. So one of the examples used was for the health and wellness team, and sometimes it's difficult to know who to refer to for a pain management problem. Is it, is it a chiropractor? Is it the acupuncturist? Is it the physical therapist? So they know who, but we don't know who. So that helps.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And then they can be very specific, more business for everybody. That's fantastic. I love that you said it was exciting and useful and productive. I'm going to put it a quote like a movie critic. Michael Lindsley says, contact spheres were productive, exciting, and helpful. What else did you learn or grow from in your breakout rooms? Oh, what a sedate crowd we have today. Pretty chill. Maybe some stuff in the chat.
Okay, I'll talk if I can.
Okay, do your
Is
best,
that okay?
Sherry.
Sorry, maybe I should have asked. But Brittany, I loved that session about making a great visitor experience. And something that really stood out to me was just that when there is a visitor there, introducing them to someone that would be a great contact for them, a great power partner for them. And it was a great discussion, and I thought Brittany did a great job.
Oh, good. Yeah, that's good. Because everything from inviting to their first meeting and follow-up are all part of that visitor experience. So we can take little slices of that and keep fine-tuning them until our visitors are overwhelmed or just blow their minds with what a great meeting they're having. That's great.
Jenny, I'm going to share my biggest BNI heartbreak, and that is on the website when you fill out your profile and your bio. I cannot even tell you the number of times I've tried to connect with people nationwide, and when I search them on the BNI Connect app, their contact information is not visible. One of the most valuable things you can do for your chapter is search your chapter members and make sure that everyone has contact information visible. If they have not done that, they may not even show up on the chapter website. So that is a really, really important thing. Complete your bio, but then also make it visible so people who are looking to do business with you can find you, know what you do, and know what value you're going to bring back to them.
Yeah, that's so good. With a logo and a headshot. And who could do headshots? Yes, Noah, do you want to add something? Speaking of headshots?
No, I wasn't saying that that's what I do. I swear. I was just gonna like back up what Alan just said, and it's not just for other BNI members to find you to do business in another chapter in another state. That becomes a public domain. So somebody just total randoms looking for a massage therapist in San Francisco, California, boom, they do a search, and if you've got all your contact information public, they're going to see it, especially if you have your bio and all that stuff filled out. It's just more stuff for Google and all of the crawlers to do the searching. So
to find your business. Yeah. And to your point, Alan, when you fill out your profile in BNI Connect, which is password protected and a benefit of membership, it populates the BNI Colorado or BNI Western Colorado websites. So anybody in the world can find that. If it does pop up, like in a search, like you're saying, Noah, it will take them to your chapter website. And if your headshot is on there, your contact information, that's something anyone in the world can find, not just the 300,000 BNI members. So that is good visibility for your business.
Linda, to answer your question, it's an option not to appear on the website because of international standards. There's a lot of things that might seem really weird, but because of international standards, and then there also, yes, there are some, as Diane just mentioned, some industry standards as far as what different companies allow their members to put public.
Remember, one of our core ethics is living up to the standards of our profession. So there are some professions that are not allowed to take and have that information out there.
Right. And we're in 70 different countries.
Yes.
So it has to be good for that country too. Yeah. Good stuff. All right. Anybody else want to share what they learned?
I have one person who said they're changing their slide deck of their chapter meeting because of the feedback they received in their session. Do you want to share a little bit more on that?
Yeah, I would love to hear more about that too.
Oh, I think that was me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in the like welcoming new members room. I don't remember what it was called. And we were talking about adding a slide that actually lays out who all of the Passport to Success mentors are, so that every single week new members can see who the mentors are supposed to be and who who they should be reaching out to, and B, to kind of also put some onus on the mentors to say, hey, you know, calling you guys out, and y'all should be reaching out to our new members. And so actually, I'm just adding a Passport to Success slide that lays out who all of the mentors are and exactly what their mentorship roles are, so that the new members can see, you know, if there's a particular thing that they're worried about, like, you know, how to use BNI Connect, that they know exactly which mentor they should be reaching out to next. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, I thought that was extremely helpful advice.
Yeah. So many core values all wrapped into one. That's great. All right, whoever's masquerading as Renee Brooke. I'm not sure why. You must have her link to have logged in. You don't look like Renee. I can't see you.
Oh, that's me, Andy Woodard.
Hi, Andy.
Yeah, I was in the goals class or breakout room, and I felt like it was too short, honestly. We barely touched the tip of the iceberg, but we did talk a great deal about attendance. And I feel like there were some really great ideas about attendance. You know, maybe go over the policy and why it's important, of course, but also talk about how it's difficult to pass referrals if you're not there.
Yeah.
If we wanted to speak with you, you're just not there. And so that makes it challenging. Also let them know that, you know, if you're arriving to the meeting late and leaving early, that kind of diminishes our ability to really trust that you'll be on time to the referrals we send you.
So
and
true.
Also have the members that did attend the meeting call, text, or email the persons that missed the meeting.
All of those, and all of those kind of around attendance. Is that what I'm hearing you say, Andy? All of those connected.
That's
That
correct.
makes sense. Yeah. And that's just one of the success drivers. So think about education moments and contests and all the things, because you're right, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So if I'm showing up on time, I'm staying to the end of the meeting, I'm engaged, I'm writing stuff down, that speaks volumes to everybody in your chapter to say, I am serious about helping your business. And that's what we want. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, are there any questions about this stuff? We have some announcements, and I just want to make you aware of some things at the end. But before we do, are there questions about some things maybe that we didn't cover, or you'd like a little bit more clarification on something that we did cover? I'm going to give you a chance for that real quick before we go on. Any Ted Lasso fans in the house? I'm obsessed. And if you happen to know when season 3 might be coming out, put that in the chat for me, please. Thank you. All right, some important reminders. Alan, what are the things we can't forget about coming up?
Well, next Leadership Roundtable, as every month, is the second Monday of the month. And we do believe that there's tremendous value there, and look forward to seeing all of you. And how about we have a challenge out there? And for the new year, everybody bring somebody else with you. Bring a buddy. Let's go back to kindergarten, do that buddy system.
I like the buddy system.
I did too. And then this one, first year member essentials. It may be essential for year members, but guess what? It's essential for all of us. And I have attended this, I don't even know how many times. Every month, it just keeps getting better and better, answering the 7 key questions that new members have. As a leader, knowing where this information is, but also hearing the type of questions that new members are asking gives you just that step ahead opportunity to meet them before they have the question and let them know how much you care about them moving forward. So the next one is tomorrow, and then there will be one on the 4th Wednesday. And I mean, these are absolutely fantastic. The comments are read, and it truly, truly gets better. Donna just posted a link for registration in the chat.
Wow, you guys are on top of it. Thanks, Alan.
Okay, Business Book Club Banter. So Diane mentioned that if we're readers, we go looking for readers, and what better than Simon Sinek's Start With Why as an opportunity to continue looking at our goals and moving into 2023. If you know why you're going to do something, one of my favorite lines that I got from leadership is, when the intention is clear, the mechanism will appear. But you know, if you don't know where you're going, you're probably going to get there. And this is just a great opportunity to have a discussion. And even if you haven't read the book, I assure you that you will get tremendous insight and value from hearing the discussion that others bring.
That might be true. That might be true.
And then we have our regional national events. Vicki mentioned speed networking early on in the call, and we are looking for, regional speed networking in Colorado. What a great opportunity to grow your contact sphere outside of your chapter, your region, your state, and really make some powerful connections with people nationally who are involved, who are doing things. These are people who, when you connect with them, these are the movers and shakers. So great opportunity to jump onto those. And then every Friday, the BNI Talks. Wow, incredible information. If you see one of those and you think, like, I got on the one for TikTok and I thought, yeah, whatever. TikTok's dumb, I hate it. Wow, was my mind changed. I'm still not going to do it myself, but I can see where it has value for some of the people that I coach. So great opportunities there.
And I wanted to show this slide because next week in your monthly newsletter, all the members will get a monthly newsletter, The Connection. You will be able to see all of the things that are coming up, all the things that happened before. And next week, your chapter success coaches will get a whole deck of these slides you can use in your chapter meetings. So if you're not already using these, make sure you ask your chapter success coach, or you can reach out to me, because I am putting together the January slides right now. And in the next week or so, your chapter success coach should be getting these to you. So if you don't have that, let us know and we'll make sure that you do have it. And this is a little bit more on the speed networking that Alan was talking about. We have it nationally. We would love to start one just in Colorado. So if you're interested, let us know about that. In just 1 minute or so, I want to make sure that everybody is aware these limited time offers end at the end of December. We will have new ones for next year, and we will let you know a little bit later in December what those are. But remember that right now is a great time for new members to be joining and getting a discount on 2 years, 5 years if they're really committed, as well as veterans and military families. And this, if you want to check with your coach to see if you have sponsored some members, because if you have sponsored 3 members between July 1st and the end of the year, you will get 3 months added to your membership. So you want to be sure that anyone who joins a chapter puts you as their sponsor, because this could actually end up extending your membership. So check with your coach, because this one will expire at the end of December as well. And to keep us as close to on time as possible, Heather, how is this going to inspire us?
Yes, in theme of our goals, this is our closing quote. This cannot be the year of talking, of wishing, of wanting. This has to be the year you get it done. And that's by Eric Thomas.
Yes, let's make some magic this year. You got 2 CEUs because we know the information on these calls is so valuable. We need to give you double the chapter education units. And the January date is on the BNI Colorado websites. So whether you are Western, Denver, or Northern, those are on your calendars. You can register now for next time and share that link with somebody in your chapter. Thank you so much for all of you who were here, and we hope you make it a great week.
Time for a quick question.
Yes.
Hey, Jenny, this is Craig Livingston, Aurora BNI. Nonprofits, do we still have that special going on?
Yes, that is, I think, going to be permanent, that is going to stick with us for a long time. So that is still
Where do I
happening.
find that information?
The only information really that you need is they'll fill out an application, but when it comes to payment, things will be different, and they'll have to give the 501c3 or their 501c6, I believe. Those are the most common options. And so then they will just be invoiced as a separate thing, and they'll have to show that as their payment and not go through the regular payment channels. If there is a chapter success coach who knows differently, now is a great time to correct me.
Yeah, all I've done is just submit a copy of that form for payment, and
okay.
That's for the BNI membership. What about the chapter due? Sorry, the application?
yes, when it's time for them to pay, I just usually submit a slip with a copy of their certificate of nonprofit, and it's taken care of within an hour usually.
So application and membership?
Yes, they
thank
pay
you.
nothing.
I understand nothing. Okay.
I understand nothing.
Jenny, can I ask a question too?
Of course.
About the membership dues, the 2-year and 5-year deals. Do we know, does that mean that the deals aren't going to be as good come January?
The prices, I think the discount might not be as deep, but I haven't looked at the exact information yet. I think the discounts may not be as deep. Instead of 25, it might be 20, but don't quote me on that. I think that's what I remember. So if you have somebody who's on the fence, it behooves them to do it before the end of the year.
Okay, yeah, I just didn't want to encourage my membership to go in early and then have a deal that was better that they then missed if they waited.
Right. No, I have not heard anything that would encourage waiting.
And your slides about that were really pretty. Is that something that we can use for our own slide deck on the different memberships, the 2-year and 5-year and whatnot?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, your chapter success coach, who is your chapter success coach? Tony, she probably has them from the Fast 5. She can forward you the slides from December in case you're not using all those announcement slides, because I include the limited time offers in there. So Tony can probably forward those to you.
Oh, sure.
Yes, those slides are nice, but they're sprinkled with question marks. That's not ideal, some of them.
Oh, because I don't know when your chapter success meeting is. So I want to say it's sometime in January. Is there a better, I have thought about that, Michael. What would be something you suggest instead?
Well, I mean, that the chapter success coach should fill in those slides.
Oh, okay, that's a good recommendation. Before they pass them along to the chapter, say,
Yeah.
I know when, let me find out when your date is and let me fill it in for you.
They should know that, and it's just data that exists.
That's a great idea. Thank you for that, Michael. I'm gonna take that into
Returning
consideration.
briefly to the nonprofit thing, so they're
Yeah.
free forever or for 1 year?
1 year,
1 year. Okay, thank you.
right? But that offer will continue forever.
Okay.
Not forever. Who knows?
Who knows?
We might not all be here tomorrow. We don't know.
The world could end.
Where's the positivity, Jenny? That was not positive.
I am positive that I would have done everything today that I need to do. How about that?
Okay, that good recover.
Thank you.
A plus. All right, I'm out of here, guys.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks,
Toodles.
everybody.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
Thanks, Jenny.